those are the information for the address information and address location information. So let's see the address location informations, and it has all the address information from the district name, upojila name, and also the road name and road number and road types and all necessary information what you need to. And finally you need to the you you allocate the location pictures. Maybe you take the pictures and then put it where exactly those person, the registered user person located, and then you have put it here the pictures in the systems, and then this is all the necessary. So you see the table names and also the your ID, generated ID for the from the use sequence. And even though you can define your all the columns and you remapped it or rename it. Okay, ADL is mapped this and we set it all the necessary nullable information. So true nullable is true, and then you can set it all the necessary information. So here our sender information. So sender has to be send the message, plain text message, and this is the plain text message, and you set your secret key, and secret key will be the 16 digit secret key, and put it your model your selection mode and your plain text, and it's automatically encrypted your message, and then you generate your encrypted message and send to the end client. I will show you when I did the controller part and also the GUI part, how is handled and how is managed. So here is our send receiver part, and this is the receiver information. When the sender generated a message, and receiver will take will receive the sender generated IDs, the your sequence IDs ID, and then he has to be passed the sender secret key and plus the encrypted by encoded message, and then he will decode the message and he see the real content of the information. That's the idea of the main application, this application. So that means we define our all the necessary domain models and domain, and then we put it our all necessary content of the information content that's the need the end client, and then we need to do. And then now is our job is complete, almost done. So what we need, you need to generate your all the all the all the all the necessary your controllers. So that is that's very simple commands. So Grails generate generate all. That means it's generate and star, and then this is the so, and it will generate these commands. I will talk about this in detail about how is the different combination of these commands. So it will generate all the domains that you define your domain package, and generate all the necessary controllers with all the CRUD functionalities of the create, read, and update and delete functionalities. And so that means it is the command generate the controllers and also the views. Views is here, you can see the views. I will show you detail how is a view is look like. So every controller, every domain has own controllers, and every domain has own views. So the view containing the information was the create, edit, and index and show. It's automatically created when you define your domain and you run your commands, and it's automatically, even though you can by create domain class, create controllers based on the specific class, and then those one. For my I did it for very first time when I did the individual classes and then domain classes and build all of them. So for when I development is done, then I check, we write the commands and generate all, then is generated all the domain necessary controllers and then views for those domain classes. So let's have a look what the controller look like. So our domain definition is done. Now we need to look for the controllers. So here is our user registration controller, one of the most parts. So you see the default is generated is the is the create method, the logout, show create and save methods, and edit method and update method, and then finally delete method. This is all the automatically. So this is the default one. So default index, show, create, save, and you do know nothing to do, just is automatically when you run the Grails generate all this, create all the domains, all the controllers and all the views, and automatically done. So what we did here is all default settings, and here is our interesting part. So because we need to, the requirement was we need to give the end client the logging functionalities, the one special features. So somehow they need to generate all the users. That's what they needed to sender and receiver informations, receiver to give them. So here is the special function. So we load how many. You see the user registration and criteria query list params. Then you can search all of the register user based on those parameters. So this is our implemented list of function, list of register user and such by something that I can show you. This is the source code. You can get it from my source GitHub. So here's I defined some default top page and logging admin page, login logout and service definition, and this is the authentication part. So we look for all the register user, and if his register user is registrar, and if you properly push your user register username and password properly, then it's logged in, and if it's logged in, then it goes to our definition of index page, and then go in login and login page. Index page is here. So is a registration. So this is the controller part. That I said this is the default generation. So create and edit and index, and this is the part that you need to define it yourself. So that means here is our auto-generated creation part and editing part and the index part and the show part, show pages. So this is the automatically generate when you run the Grail generate all stuff, so it's automatically done. Here I am using the IntelliJ IDE because you didn't see the really code completions, because the enterprise version has those possibilities to get the real GSP versions. So here is it just you can see there is just like there is no code completion. It's hard, but if you take the enterprise version, you need to pay the money every year. So license you need to it. I am working with community edition. That's why we should do this way. So you need to do more. So this is our list, and it's search for the how many registered users in the systems, and view the systems. This is so we search for all the users and look for the users, and then loop through and this is the iteration of these links and show the details of these links. So this is the call the user registration users, and then you put it your all the necessary information what you try to visualize. And this is the pagination information, how many records you see to show each of the pages, and how is it paginated to each of the user. So that means, so here our list user index, and then loading all the GSP pages, how has to be handled, the logging and logout, and then admin logging and the specific user logging. So this is the important part. So this is the part as a web developer you should handle those part, because depending on the project requirements. So our case, this requirement was if you are admin user to log in the systems, then the admin should generate all the necessary users, the receiver and sender, and you generate, and then that's all. And then after when the generation is done, then the user is there, then they start to sending the SQL messages and response and receive the SQL messages. So that's the idea to take this one. So let's have a try to look for other controllers, other views and controllers. So here our address info not spatial. This is the default controller definitions from Grails, and then this is the address location controller definitions. Let's minimize this. The address location controller definition and the receiver sender controller definition. So because here you see the difference is here is the most important part. We need to the sender informations, and this is the sender service definition when you generate the commands, and this generate the packets of services and do the necessary information. So this is the most important part you need to take care. So what we did here, the very special one, so we give our input selection mode. This is our AES algorithms to encrypted